Hi! Welcome to our first video lesson on computer hardware servicing. For today's lesson, we will be discussing about computer systems. In line with this, let us define what is computer. A computer is a machine that processes data, performs logical operations and computations, and produces meaningful information. It is used to store and process data according to instruction given to it. We have four basic functions of computer. The first one is the input. It accepts data in a form that a computer can use. Input is getting data from the user to computer. Example is typing on the keyboard, speech, through microphone, and scanning images. Once this data were entered to our computer, it will now be sent to our next function, which is processing. Process is where execution of instruction take place, such as calculation, playing games, browsing, and many more. CPU is the one responsible in processing of our data. After this data were processed, it will now be sent for output. It is the response of computer to the user's input. When data is entered, it appears on the screen, which is an example of output. Another example is when a created Word document was produced into a hard copy through printer. Now, output is our desired result. And last one, we have storage. Storage is about saving and retrieving information for future use. Let us now discuss about the data flow diagram. DFD maps out the flow of information for any process or system. So here, we will see how data flows in our computer. The first one, we have input. Like in our earlier explanation, input is whatever goes in our computer through input devices, such as typing, recording, or capturing photo and video. This data will now be sent to the CPU for processing. CPU transforms our data into meaningful information that can be used for future. For example, a teacher can enter grades of her students. These grades are the raw data. These grades can later be used or processed to produce the report card of her students, which is the meaningful information. Central Processing Unit has three parts. The first one, we have Control Unit. It controls the input and output of data, checks that signals have been delivered successfully. Para siyang orchestra leader. Ang control unit ay hindi nag-execute ng program instruction but rather, it directs other parts to do so. The next one, we have ALU, or Arithmetic and Logic Unit. It is where the CPU performs the arithmetic and logical operations. Every task that your computer carries out is completed here. Even typing into a word processor involves adding binary digits into the file and calculating which pixels on the screen should change so that you can see the characters. Last one, we have the main memory. Memory stores program instruction or data for only as long as the program they pertain to is on operation. How do data and instructions get from input device into memory? The control unit sends them. You can think of it like the calculator. The numbers typed into calculator, they are being stored while it processes the calculations. After processing, we have storage. Storage, after processing of data and producing information, it can now be stored for future use. It can be for temporary storage or permanent storage. It can also pertain to secondary storage. We will dig deeper about storage in our future discussions. And last one, we have the output. Your produced information comes out through our computer depending on our chosen instruction or program. Just like in our first explanation of output, it is our finished product or desired result. Next one, we have components of computer systems. So we have 4 components. The first one, we have hardware. Hardware refers to the physical equipment of the computer system. Any part of computer system that you can see or touch. So sa madaling salita, ito ang mga parte ng computer natin na ating nahahawakan. Ano yung example nito? Monitor, keyboard, mouse, CPU, printer, scanner. Those are hardware devices. Next one, we have software. Software is non-tangible o hindi nahahawakan. These are programs used by a computer. Halimbawa ng software ay Microsoft Word, Google Chrome, or other programming languages such as Visual Basic and Java. Third one, we have peopleware. Peopleware refers to the people, the users of the computer system. It can be a student, teacher, businessman, or whoever uses the computer. And last one, we have firmware. It is a software program or a set of instructions program on a hardware device. Halimbawa ng isang firmware ay remote control. The software is programmed into the device typically for a single purpose. So, those are the 4 components of computer system. This is the first part of our discussion for the first lesson regarding computer systems. The next lesson, we will be discussing about computer hardwares. This is all for now. Thanks for watching.